Hi, so I'm Rob Dixon. I'm originally from Newcastle, but I've been living in Derry now for 5 years. And in November of 2024, we got married here at Redcastle. We were engaged for 2 years prior to that, and met in 2018.
Hi, I'm Melissa Dixon, I suppose now. So, as Rob said, we met in 2018. We actually worked together. So, we had a working relationship first of all, and obviously turned into a romantic relationship.
So, the key thing, the reason we chose Redcastle was just the venue, the area that it's in. This was the first place we looked at, and it was the only place we looked at because we made the decision pretty much the moment we walked into this room. The views from the window, the attention to detail just in that initial meeting with Margaret Mary, and the information that she gave us, it was just a no-brainer, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%. The feel of the place, the staff, everybody was lovely. The way we were even treated when we came to look at the place was just something else. And then we actually came back here to have our engagement photos taken. So it was we just fell in love with it, and that was decision made. So we chose to have our ceremony here at Redcastle. Primary reason, we didn't want a church wedding, but when we saw the room on the day then, it was just spectacular, and we realised we'd made the right decision. From cutting out that travel from a church to your reception was a big plus, but also the staff obviously knew how to set it up. Our flowers were all here. Everything was perfect and set up for us. Everyone was aware of what was happening, and our guests really loved the fact as well that they could just be here and just walk upstairs and the beautiful welcome reception area. So I would strongly recommend having your ceremony in here as well. It cuts out a lot of stress, and the hotel just were brilliant as well at setting it up, and the turnaround from the ceremony then to the meal was just fantastic. Nobody even knew that there was anything really going on. It was
that was the thing. We didn't have an order of service printed out. We didn't have anything, but we didn't need it because the staff here communicate all the way through. The master of ceremonies was communicating constantly. Everybody knew where they needed to be, what time. Everything ran to time as well. And I think, this room is incredible. We've been to weddings before where everything feels so compact, everyone's sitting on top of each other, but this is such a big space. But even if you didn't fill it, you wouldn't realise it because there's just enough room and everything's just decorated.
And also, on that point, sometimes when you're in a church, it feels like people are spread out quite a bit. This felt really intimate, and everybody was part of it. So I think just for the inclusivity of the actual ceremony itself, and everybody was able to hear what was being said, so absolutely beautiful.
Tell you one thing that does, this is a really bizarre thing to remember, but we obviously, everything went according to plan. There was one thing that we forgot to do, and that was to make somebody pick up the marriage certificate. And we completely forgot about it. And it was at the very, very end where we kind of went, oh God, what have we done with the marriage certificate? And even then, Emma had the sense to pick it up and she put it into the honeymoon suite for us. It was just, again, it comes back to what we said earlier on. Everything was to a T, and even if things deviated, there was somebody there to fix it.
And we didn't have to. We were like, where's our marriage certificate? And went up the room, there it was, and I said, no, I took it up the room. And also, actually, which was a lovely touch, when we went actually up to our room, they had already printed out a picture of us at the Christmas tree and put it in our room for us. So we had a picture sitting there already, and the wedding day wasn't even over. Yeah. So it was just the small attention to detail, that things that we wouldn't even have dreamed that we would have wanted or needed. But so many things. Can't pick
one.
Couldn't pick anything in particular. Just everything's perfect.
The feedback that we got from people after the wedding was absolutely incredible. I think, for me personally, I had a lot of friends and family travel over from Newcastle in England. So it was a big event for them. They were here for at least 2 days in a lot of cases, and every single person that I've spoken to had nothing but praise to say about the wedding, about the hotel. I've had people tell me it was the best wedding they've been to, and you know, people will say that to you, but this was genuine things that they've said, and you know, it came from the heart.
Some of them said it was better than their own wedding.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. But again, all the things we've been talking about the attention to detail, about the staff, about the hotel in general, it's all things that other people are saying as well. Now it also gives you some kind of like confirmation that your own thoughts is actually naturally correct, because you like to hear it from other people. It wasn't just us,
we weren't just biased.
Yeah.
I think as well, my family, all my friends, they had all commented as well on how pleasant the staff were. The drink was just flowing, nobody's glass was empty, nobody had to ask for anything. So it was just, there was just so much praise for everything. Food was perfect, setting was perfect, staff were amazing. So we didn't have any complaints or any back chatter from anyone. With snide remarks, it was just all positive. It was just.
And let's be honest, we have got some friends who have some very negative views on the world, and even they were positive. So everyone's a winner. If I was to speak to anybody else, if they were considering coming to Redcastle, I think you don't need me to tell you. You come here and have a look around, and you'll get the same feeling that I did the moment I walked in here. It was, this is the place for me, and I think this is a place for anybody. If you want a wedding where you've got a wedding planner with the attention to detail that they have, if you want to come and have a place that will wow not just you but your guests, this is the place for it. The staff, the way that the ceremony is performed, the way that the meals are served, the way the day flows, it's just great, and I couldn't sing higher praises for the place.
100%, and I think for us as well, it was, I've spoken about this to other people who have got married and said they were stressed out because people were coming to them and asking, what's happening here? Nobody had to ask us anything. Everything just went ahead in the background, and it just all flowed. So we weren't harassed, although they were in constant communication leading up to the wedding. We never felt under pressure for anything, and we were making changes and we were doing things, and it just happened on the day. It was just perfect. So we would do it again, wouldn't we?
Yeah,
get married again.
100%. I mean, even if we were to have a party for anything, I'd be coming here for it, because it's just incredible. I mean, little story just to kind of put in, I guess, is on the day I came down probably about an hour and a half before the guests were arriving, and came into this room. It was all set up, and I'm even getting choked up now talking about it, but kind of walked in, and Ema was in the room setting up, and I walked in and we had a memory table in the corner, and I got choked up and like kind of and started crying, and she came straight over and gave us a hug, and it was just like that kind of personal touch is just not what you would expect. You don't get that anywhere else as far as I'm aware. I'm not aware of it, not heard of it, and that was just something to just kind of go, you made the right choice, but that kind of just set the day off and set the day, kind of calmed me down and got me ready for what was a perfect day.